and welcome to the Standpoint. Third Friday in March. March hasn't been too good. When I say too good, well, we are grateful to God for life. We are grateful to God for all the mercies, His grace, and, His favor. But we've had some news in March that aren't that pleasing. What is happening with our young ladies? What is happening? I even hate to use the word, but I have to use it. Suicide. 3 already. And we pray to God it doesn't continue. Today we are going to talk about our daughters and the emotional battle. And when I talk about emotional battle, I'm not talking about just losing a boyfriend or losing, a parent, but emotion, the things that worry our young ladies emotionally. Is it studies? Is it challenges? Is it things that they can't talk to their parents about? Is it that they feel lonely? Is it that they feel left out? Is it that they have no hope? They think they are failure, they can't achieve? Well, my name is Gifty, and welcome to the Standpoint. Today it doesn't seem too, much of a fun, but it's something that we need to talk about. It's very, very serious. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. Ophelia Crossland Designs made the dress for me. I'm so grateful to them. Paba Cosmetics provides us with their makeup products and makeup and more. Put everything together. We are so grateful to them. Often, of course, my earrings and my very bold rings, which I love bold rings, from Kwa Designs. They are at Labone. Makeup and More is at Sakumano. They have a cosmetology school, so check their contacts on the Standpoint and you can enroll and get trained. I take a break. When we come back, we are going to look at this emotional battle that seems to be conquering our young ones. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back to the Standpoint. Today, our topic for discussion is our daughters and the emotional battle. And I have the 3 people here who can, really talk about this dispassionately and let us face the reality and the dangers that lie ahead of us if we don't sit up. In fact, the one who brought up this idea that Gifty, you need to immediately do something about it. And she's my boss. If I don't do it, trouble for me. So I had to do it. Well, let me say thank you to our sponsors who, without them, this program wouldn't be possible, wouldn't be on air. Thank you to Wilma Africa. Wilma Africa, they manufacture Frytol cooking oil, and you know about Frytol already. No need for me to lecture you on it. You know its qualities. You know it's good. You know it's been passed on from generation to generation, so you need to get it. And then they also produce Fortune rice, and the Fortune rice comes in 3 different types. And when I talk about the types, is the packaging. The green one is very good for soft dishes like omutuo and then rice water and the rest. We have the orange one. The packaging, again, I tell you, is the difference is the packaging. The orange one is very good for wache. And then the wine-colored one, that's the Thai rice. That is very good for jollof and then fried rice. So when you go out there to the market, you make sure you get it. And we're also sponsored by Leaf Tomato Paste. Good cooking, good taste. And then NS Chemist, they produce Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture and Nescafe Blood Tonic. They manufacture quality and affordable medicines for Ghanaians and beyond. We have Tenated Herbal. They produce Tenated Venicare, Tenated Tomacare, and if you want a herbal-based medicine, just look for the Tenated. It's a double T thing, symbol on it, and you won't be wrong. Thank you to Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator expert, and then African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. We are so grateful to them. Well, let me go straight and introduce my guests for this program, and we have Mrs. Angela Dakwa Ado.
Yes.
Is that the
yes, that's
Ado? Okay. She's a volunteer with ARC Foundation Ghana. Welcome back to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next to Angela, I have Dr. Amachiwa Edwin. She is a doctor. She's a doctor, a clinical psychologist, and welcome back to the Standpoint. Okay, and then next to her, I have my own daughter, Mrs. Marian Opare-Yeboah. She's the president of Young Couples and Singles Network, YCS. Well, she's also a part of a group or an association that I'm part of. That's Women in Leadership International. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
So what is this suicide? I mean, is it something, a seasonal thing? Because sometimes it comes up and then sometimes it seems to have a ripple effect and then it goes away for a while. Then, I don't know, what is...
I mean, worldwide, more people die from suicide than murder. Yes, most of it goes unreported. The reason it seems seasonal is that when a suicide occurs, the way it is reported can invariably cause more suicide. So knowing someone who's committed suicide puts you at risk. If there's any connection, any link, it puts you at risk. And so the more we report, the more we get suicide. But ordinarily, they occur. They occur. But
why is that? You are
why,
the clinical...
Yeah, so why do people kill themselves?
Knowing someone who has committed suicide puts you at risk. That means it is possible you can also get into that.
Yes, because of so many variables. The person is a friend, a close person, a loved one, or you have attributes in common. So, I mean, especially when the person is someone who seems to have it together, commit suicide, it makes people wonder. You mean this person is in university, this person is about finishing. I mean, what could make her do this and look at me, my miserable life? Why should I continue? So that sort of connection. And if you also know someone, it's a sense of failure. I mean, the very first person that I knew who committed suicide was a patient of mine in 1996. He was a brilliant student on campus and had been struggling with depression, and I've been managing her for a while, had gotten well and had written a beautiful letter to me. And then I went on medical leave, and one of my colleagues came to visit me, and I said, oh, because I handed him over to him and said, oh, how is he doing? So he said, well, he traveled to Côte d'Ivoire to visit his uncle or somebody. And I said, oh, that's okay. Then he said, well, he took an overdose of the antidepressants and died. I felt like such a failure. I was like, what's my use then as his doctor and everything? So I'm questioning myself. Did I miss something? Was there something I could have done? Because he had been suicidal before. In fact, the very first time that I saw him, he had attempted suicide and had been brought, and I admitted him. And I remember going to see him in the ward, and he telling me how some of the nurses there were lambasting him because, you know, mental health, we write notes. In fact, from that time on, I'm very careful the details I wrote, because I wrote all that, he being a top student and everything. And the nurses and those who were in that particular institution thought that he was asleep, and they lambasted him. So I went, and then he was discussing this, and he said something like, so this is even the reason why, what's the point? Because people can't get why I can't seem to want to live, and they are blasting me thinking that everything is fine. But it's sort of an inner anguish that makes you think that the only way out is death. But like any moment of darkness, if you can wait it out, especially with support around, the light will come. The light will come.
The light will come. Angie, you went... Does it sound familiar?
Yeah, actually it does. And it's actually personal. When all of these things started coming up, it got to me because I have a personal experience. I actually got to that point in my life sometime back, that was like 8 years ago. I made it to the university. I mean, I was a very bright girl. I made it to the College of Engineering, one of the universities in Ghana. And after my first year, I was actually kicked out of the university. A lot of people don't know this. In fact, just 5 people know this. And my father was so disappointed in me. And it was like, right from the beginning, I didn't really want to do the course he wanted me to do. But then eventually I had to settle for it because he was making the big decisions in my life. But then I sailed through anyway. And I got to go to the university. When I had to go to the university too, he chose a course for me. He wanted me to do something else. You know, at that stage in your life, you need a lot of guidance, and he was guiding me. But then I kept trying to push myself away from what he wanted me to do. And I decided to do something for myself. And I failed at that. And I was kicked out. So it's kind of like, that was the end of my world. And he wasn't talking to me. The moment he had to talk to me, it was all insult, lambasting, you know, here and there. And my mom had to try to be there for me. And you know, fathers, you know, so she also has to try and drag herself away from me sometimes. So I was alone one afternoon, actually. And I actually have the mark here to show. I don't know what came over me, but then I picked a blade and I cut myself. I wanted to bleed to death. So when all of these things started coming up, I mean, it took me back then. And I remembered me then. And I was trying to search myself to find out why and what can be done for these people. And interestingly, like Doug was saying, somebody's door opens another person's door. I mean, so long as you know, okay, well, this person has it all and everything, and this person wants to do this to herself or did this to herself, then, I mean, in the end, what about me? So,
But Angie, you made a comment. You don't know what happened and you started cutting yourself.
Yeah.
So you didn't make a deliberate attempt to commit suicide. It
No.
wasn't that you planned to commit suicide.
No. You know, it's majorly your thoughts, actually. They linger on. It starts with a single thought about helplessness and hopelessness. And it grows deeper and grows bigger. And especially when you don't have anybody around you, it grows. And before you realize, you are deep down in a pit. And you have to appear strong before everybody. You have to put on a smile. You have to be hypocritical about it, because that is what the world wants to see. And in the end, you go. So I actually had a cousin who chanced upon me, and then that is what stopped it. Otherwise, I'll be gone. It can happen to anyone.
It can happen to anyone, indeed. Because, Marion, what is this emotional battle that our young ladies seem to have now?
Yeah, I think we are in a dispensation where our young ladies need a lot of attention from, especially our parents. Me, per se, when I was growing, I had a wonderful people around me. My mom, my granny, actually, he brought me up. And later at a point in time, she went to the US. So I came to stay with my mom. And staying with my mom, we're like strangers. Like, I couldn't open up with a lot of things to her. So after university, I decided that, hey, this is what I want to do. I don't want to work for anybody. I want to do something for myself. And my mom would be like, why do you want to do something for yourself? You have to work. Your work is your social security and blah, blah, blah. A lot of pressure. And I think I started something and she discouraged me. So at a point in time, I was in the house. I was not just doing anything. At dawn, I could wake up and all that I could feel is some goosebumps would be all around me. And sometimes I'll be crying. Until, you know, I got this adem from supon.
Yeah.
And it was consistent for about a month. So I confided in one of my uncles that, you know, this is what I want to do. She is actually a lawyer. And he said, okay, if that's what you want to do, I think I can support you. But what is the future? How? I said, oh, me, I want to do business. I like to do business. I would like to interact with people, get close to the people. I said, okay, then I can help. So he actually talked to my mom, and then my mom was a little bit relaxed. So I think at a point in time, these are young girls, like, you know, the youth and the generation now, parents need to open up to us. It's not anything that you say, oh, you want to even brush them, because they learn a lot from outside. They learn a lot from friends. And even the society, the pressure in our society currently is so bad that you don't know what your daughter or your son is learning, whose friend he is. So sometimes it's the parents. So if maybe you think that, oh, my Marianne is still my Marianne, so I want to press her. My Equia is still my Equia, so you lose her. You lose her to outsiders. You lose her to boyfriends. You lose her to people that you'll be surprised that you don't even want maybe your kids or whatever to mingle. So please, I think the problem right now is parents are being too strong.
We are talking about our daughters and the emotional battle. And in talking about parents, we are not trying to blame any parent, because sometimes the parents don't know any better. Sometimes parents think they are doing their best and do not even know what went wrong. So we'll try and get to the bottom of this. Let me say thank you to our supporters. Gogot to Yogurt, ever faithful Gogot to Yogurt. We are so grateful to you. Thank you to House of Foods and then Cake Technique. Thank you so much for the support that you give to us. We are so grateful. Matamis gives us the port, and Yep Cleaning Services make sure that our environment is always clean, and they are the best. If you need any cleaning services to be done for you, please contact them. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to The Standpoint. We are talking about our daughters and the emotional battle. Our daughters and emotional battle. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress was sewn for me by Ophelia Crossland Design. Thank you so much. Dora, thank you so much for always hooking me up and not, disappointing me. I'm always grateful to you. Thank you to Koa Designs for my earrings and my ring. And then also thank you to Paba Cosmetics for the makeup product and makeup and more. Apply the makeup for us. They have a cosmetology school at Sakumono. If you want to go there and learn anything, cosmetology, please, I will recommend them any day, anytime. But we are talking about our daughters and the emotional battle. Before we left for the break, Marion was talking about our parent. Doc, is that it? Our parent losing something?
We live in, like he said, the times that we live in. Most of us grew up, you come home, maybe your mom is home or will come home soon. But now the work environment is such that, there's very little time available for yourself or even your children. So most of us are not, let me not say most of us, some of us are not in touch with what is going on with our children. And when they try to talk to us, I work with a lot of young people, and the thing that she talked about and Angela also talked about is that you won't even have the listening ear. Mm-hmm. The moment you start talking about something, imagine going to tell your mom that, Mom, I feel my life is not worth living. The typical Ghanaian woman was like, hey, it didn't boost some now working, and will just shut you up. And Kasa, that's the
in Jesus' name.
But my take will be listen to the girl, have a conversation. What's going on that's making you feel this way? And once you get to the root, realize that you support them. It changes the perspective. But if you shut them, next time something like that, they'll just carry it out and won't discuss it. So yes, I know that we are busy, but there are certain things in life that when you drop, you can pick. If you drop your job today, you lose your job, you can get another job. But if you lose your life, if you lose your health, if you lose your family, and our children are with us for such a short period, so I know that for sometimes my sons want to do something with me and I have a deadline or I have my own thing that I'm doing like that, like you got me here today. I'm not home, but he's okay, his father is with him. But the little time, let them know that they are a priority, they matter to us. Let them know that they can talk to you about everything.
But you see, Doc, sometimes parents will tell you, my daughter is my friend. My son is my friend. We do everything. We talk. I give him everything he wants.
But that is the thing. That's not parenting. You are not your daughter's friend. You are the mother or the father. You giving a child everything does not make you a good parent. It starts from childhood. It starts from letting them know that, yes, you are there, you are mom, you are dad, you correct them, you love them, you do all of this. But they can come to you with anything, the good, the bad, or the ugly. Once you start that and they grow up with it, then it becomes important, because especially around the teenagers, remember, they are not children, they are not adults. And these are the people who are in our universities, 18, 19, 20. So if you've already shut them out and they don't have trust and friends, then that becomes a problem. So we need to make time. We are not here blaming parents.
No.
I'm a parent. I'm also like my job. I mean, and I can't imagine myself being sitting at home not doing nothing. I think I'll be so stressed that will rather affect my family negatively. But what we are saying is that let us get to know our children, the companies they keep, who they are testing, who they are WhatsApping, what sort of conversations are they having. What she described is not uncommon. A lot of people try, and sometimes one girl told me she cuts herself because of the emotional pain. Because the emotional pain, you feel the pain as if it hits you, you feel the pain, you know it's emotional, it can even manifest physically, but how do you deal with it? No one sees it. They think that you've got it together. You are brilliant, you are beautiful, you are this. And I think those are the people who suffer a lot. When you have, let's say, nothing and you are sad, people explain it and they can encourage you. But when you seemingly have it
everything
together and you are depressed and you're even talking about, either they will shut you up or will tell you that you are ungrateful or so many things. So you have no avenue and you think the only way out of this misery is to die. But please stay for your loved ones, because the impact of suicide on those left behind. I mean, if we are able to see that, if we can even project and just do an analysis, okay, I think my life is not worth living, so let me do as what? What are the benefits? Well, not even as well. Let me just do pros and cons. So if I kill myself now, I'll be out of the pain. All this wahala, all this issue, I won't be dealing with it. But what will happen? Your parents, your friends, those who know you, people who looked up to you. I mean, and you realize that the fallout is much worse.
Yes.
You know, but most of the time in that state, maybe some of us have tried to reach others and nobody was listening. So we are alone. She shared her story. If your parents are doing this and they are so disappointed and they are not talking, you don't withhold love from a child because they've messed up. No, that is not it. That is not it.
Angie, did your parents get to know about this?
Yeah, my mom actually got to know later. But my daddy, I doubt if he got to know, because he would have killed me on top. I mean, you know, he would just have gone like, and I mean, that's what happens every day.
So how did you put yourself together?
My mom, actually, she was my greatest strength. And she sat me down and made me understand that wasn't the end of it all. I mean, bottom line, I went back to school that same period. And so instead of finishing the university in 4 years, I actually used 5 years to complete school, because after the first program failed me, I had to quickly change course or something and then go back to school. So basically that's what happened. But I also think that aside the whole parenting thing, we could also look at technology. Yeah, interestingly, a lot of people try to stick more to the technological world rather than face the whole social or real environment around them. When you go to Facebook, I mean, I have friends who are always posting pictures of having gone here, having gone there, having done this, having done that. And at a point, I asked myself, is it really true? You know?
Are they really been there?
Yeah, are they really going there? Because it's like they make everything about them seem so good, so beautiful. I mean, they have it all and everything. And that's what a lot of people do. So, in fact, they may be suffering inside, but we don't know. Because they paste a picture about themselves as though everything is just right for them. So we lack the whole social integration, and there's too much social isolation. I mean, even take a husband and a wife, sometimes they would rather fidget with their phones and then WhatsApp with friends and old school platforms rather than talk to each other. We should try and get away from our phones a little from our computers. Let us face the real socialization. Let's talk to people around us.
Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll take the final round now. And I'd like to say thank you to our supporters, Go Got to Your God, Yep Cleaning Services, Cake Technique, and of course, House of Foods. We are so grateful to them. Matamis gives us the support. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. The Standpoint is sponsored by African Women's Development Fund, AWDF, and Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator experts. Wilma Africa Limited, they manufacture fried oil and fortune rice. And the fortune rice comes in 3 types. The green is for omutuo and rice water and and the likes. And then we have the orange one, which is very good for wache. And then finally, the wine one, my favorite, because I love jollof. The one is the Thai rice, so it's very, very good for jollof and then fried rice. We also say thank you to NS Chemist, faithful NS Chemist, serving the nation quality and affordable medicines. They sponsor us with Anti-Mary Gripe Baby Mixture and Nescofa Blood Tonic. We also say thank you to Tinated Herbal, Tinated Ebusia in Temfa, and then Live Tomato Paste. Good taste, good food. Welcome back to The Standpoint, and let me start with Marion. So what do we do?
Mommy, I think parents, especially our mothers, should have time for us. And then they should open up for us to, discuss anything with them. The love aspect should be more. If you say you love us, let's talk to you. The way you want attention from each other as couples, I think it should be extended to us.
That's right.
The more talking that you do, you know your kids.
Angie.
The what we have to do and the way forward for me comes in 3 different folds. I want to talk to everybody out there. First of all, let's tear ourselves away from our phones, our computers, and let's learn to socialize. Real socialization. Let's stop putting up fake images and fake pictures about ourselves, and let's be real. And let's seek help if we need it. The second one is that every young lady around you see today has some sort of an emotional need. And when we meet men, I want the young ladies to know that when they want to get into your panties, they will tell you and they will promise you heaven and earth. But my sister, jokingly, let me ask you, if he gives you heaven and earth, where do we live? I mean, where do we stay? What I'm really trying to say is, when a man wants to get something from you, he will say so much. But you need to be smart about it. Let's not only think of men as our only solitude and our only reliance in this world. It's nice to have a boyfriend. I'm not going to go into what you do with him or what you do not do with him. But let's not build our worlds around boyfriends only. And if you do what you're not supposed to do and you get pregnant, there are always solutions. The end isn't to kill yourself just because of the whole you think you may have brought upon yourself and your family, whichever family you belong to, or however way it is. And lastly, I want to say that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporal problem. I mean, whatever that is at stake at the moment is for a time being. And trust me, when you sit down and you think seriously about it, you get a solution out of it. We should all be on the lookout. The warning signs are everywhere. If you have a sister or a brother who comes to you and is always talking about death and not seeing the need for life, not seeing why I should move on and all of that, it's a cry for help. Pay attention to the person. So let's all be each other's keepers. Let's not just watch people go or sink deeper into pits.
Doc, Do we have, is it signs or something
Yeah,
when somebody...
she talked about it. So if someone is depressed, or going through clinical depression, which is also one of the reasons why people take their life, you would see that the person has become withdrawn, not talking, having no joy or pleasure in things that they usually would do, not eating or eating too much, not sleeping or sleeping too much. So that one, we're talking about depression. But if someone tells you that they don't think their life is worth living, that's not the time to shut them up. You need to be there. There's something called the gift of presence, and it's just that your very presence is what is needed. So when they are willing to talk, they will. So the way we talk and relate to people, the way we offer help, all those things can help. But please, whatever it is, stay. Stay for yourself. You don't know your future self. You don't know who God is going to make you. You don't know what life is after. So why do you do that to prevent who you are going to be? Like she says, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary situation. I know what it means to be in a dark space where you think that nothing else matters and nothing else is going to change. But just stay put. Seek help. Talk to someone. The light will come. The light will come. Talk about it, write about it, do anything about it, but for God's sake, don't take your life.
What have you got to say, the parents who have lost their children to suicide, who are watching today?
Yeah.
Doc, what have you got to say to them?
It's a very difficult place, and I know that you blame yourself, you condemn yourself, and societal self-is. We've been talking about parenting, so already you feel that you are responsible. Please, you are not. Whatever it is, that is not the end of life. You can actually overcome this and help so many people by sharing your story, by overcoming, by building a foundation. Anything to make a difference, but blaming yourself is not the solution.
You see, we all do have emotional battles. We all do have emotion. We are dealing with one thing or the other that can get us down, that can break us, into pieces. But it takes the grace of God to bring us up. Sometimes we may cry just before we come and sit on air and be smiling and everything. But life goes on. It's okay to fail sometimes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be betrayed. Yes, and I can say it's okay because I've been through it all and still go through it. And sometimes it doesn't stop you from what you're doing. Sometimes it can make you change course. But the most important thing is that, as Angela said, ending your life is just a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Life goes on. Storms come our way all the time. But if we are able to stay focused, if we are able to be a little bit patient and tolerant, if we are able to endure the pain just a little bit more, we'll come out smiling. No one is better than you. I have a friend who says, well, if you're richer than me, I'm poorer than you. If you're prettier, me too, I'm ugly. I have something you haven't got. I tell young people that, listen, own your space. If you have one jeans, wear the jeans in such a way that your other friends will think that it's now a fashion to wear just one jeans. And as a mother, as a father watching, please, please be there for your child. And especially the teachers, the lecturers. Keep an eye for the young ones. The Legon one we had, she hadn't been to lecture for weeks. Didn't anybody see it? Didn't any lecturer see it? What was done about it? I'm not trying to blame anybody. But if we decide to be there for each other, then we have to look out for each other. My name is Gifty Auntie. As always, I have super crazy faith in God, and I'm here by grace, not because I did anything right. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.